Welcome to the next episode of Dominion Homework. Last time we talked about Lurker Hunting Grounds as a combo. This time I want to show you just in general nice synergies Lurker has with a lot of Dark Ages cards. Because Dark Ages was the expansion that cared about trashing and, well, trashing was there since the beginning, but Dark Ages really had to focus on trashing and has cards that have some nice text under a line here that makes them do stuff when you trash them. And nicely enough, all this stuff works when you trash them from the supply. So, for example, if you use Lurker to trash cultists, you draw 3 cards. That makes Lurker better than a laboratory. In addition to that, you can then use another Lurker to gain the cultist, which is also very strong. So let's just start the game here and open double Lurker to have maximum potential to show you the things you can do here. So let's at first trash a cultist to draw the 3 cards. And not gain the cultist. Let's put it on the bottom. Another thing is if you have Lurker and rats in the kingdom, well, Lurker is usually not only about trashing cards from the supply, you also want to game them. So if there's good actions in the kingdom like Grand Market or so, the only problem is if you only have 1 Lurker in hand, it kind of does nothing because you don't want to give your opponent the option to play a Lurker and gain the thing you trashed for him. So most of the time you just are sad with 1 Lurker in your hand and don't play it unless you are sure your opponent can't play Lurker his next turn. And there comes rats would come in handy there, because you can trash them to just gain +1 card. So in that case, better trash a rats than nothing, and yeah, replace your Lurker with another card, make it a cantrip basically. Fortress on the other hand is way nicer than that, because when you trash it, you gain it in your hand, which also makes Lurker a cantrip, but it gains fortresses. And every time you gain a Lurker, you basically can draw another card with the fortress you just gained. And you have a village that is better than a village, because it can't be trashed. You can use trash for benefit on it or anything. So Lurker and Fortress really is a machine to gain a lot of fortresses very easy. Let's just buy a market square here. And well, another, as I don't have Lurker in my hand. So Squire is a nice little cheap card that can either gain you actions or buys or gain a silver, but when you trash it you gain an attack card. And this is very interesting with Lurker because you can gain any attack card on the board, even if it costs usually potion. So either Familiar or Scrying Pool, you are able to gain them here without having to invest into a potion. And it's way easier to do that. Scrying Pool even synergizes very well with Lurker and doesn't synergize at all with potions, so it's a very nice way to gain Scrying Pools. And yeah, Familiar, you can't miss a free potion that way, which often happens with Familiar. So those are very nice cards. Of course, other attack cards such as Margrave or Goons are also very nice to gain early with Lurker and Squire. Well, here let's gain a Scrying Pool and buy a Lurker. Okay, and well, we talked about hunting grounds. You can use that to gain duchies or estate with Lurker, but usually if Lurker and hunting grounds are on the board, it's just the rush that we had in the last episode. So no more point to talk about that. And the last Dark Ages interaction is Catacombs, where you can use it to, when you trash this, gain a cheaper card. So you can use it as a workshop, a non-terminal workshop, well, kind of like iron works, just that it also gives you an action when you gain treasure cards with it. And, well, you can use the next lurker to gain the catacombs. And interestingly enough, don't mess this up, Market Square doesn't work if you trash stuff from the supply with Lurker, because Market Square reads, when one of your cards is trashed, you may discard this from your hand to gain a gold. And if you use Lurker, you don't trash your card. You only trash from the supply, which is no one's card. And yeah, but on the other hand, Tomb works with Lurker, so every time you use Lurker to trash something, because you trashed something and there's nothing mentioned about your card, you just gain a free victory point, so Tomb makes Lurker even more attractive. And there you have it. I hope I didn't miss a crazy interaction. Of course you can use Lurker just to gain usual cards when you have two of them in hand, like even King's Court and Debt cards, or Possession, a very expensive potion cost card. And yeah, another thing to always be careful with Lurker is there's immense pile-out potential. If you have like 5 Lurkers in your engine, always be aware that you could pile out, and always be aware that your opponent with Lurkers can easily pile out. And well, you might have to take the duchy to prevent that, or some points, instead of building more. So there you have it. A lot of nice Lurker synergies. And yeah, see you in the next episode. Goodbye.